This is OpenClaw, and in the past month, this little lobster has been driving the internet crazy. It got over 200,000 stars on GitHub. Now, to put that into perspective, that is about the same or more than repositories like React, Next.js, and Linux. There were discussions with Anthropic as well as OpenAI. The initial name was Cloudbot, but that sounded too much like Claude, and so it had to be renamed. Then it became Moldbot, and finally now its name is OpenClaw. The creator, Peter Steinberger, recently got acqui-hired by OpenAI, which is now officially backing this project. Why is this such big news, OpenClaw? Because it's more than just a chatbot. OpenClaw can run 24/7 on your local machine or a separate machine or server. It can store memory, and it opens up the whole AI landscape for something new. AI employees. Imagine you go to sleep, and when you wake up after 8 hours the next morning, many of your tasks have already been completed. You look in your bank account, and there's more money than the night before. The average human spends about 8 hours sleeping every night and becomes 70 years old. Now, if we do the math, that is 200,000 hours of wasted potential. But what if you had an AI employee / AI assistant that does tasks for you while you're sleeping and even does work and makes money for you? Introducing Project Nightlife. In this series, we are going to build an AI employee from scratch that will make money for us and complete tasks for us while we are sleeping. Good day, Shinian Kwaile, Ramadan Mubarak, and welcome. This is the first episode where we are going to set up our AI employee using OpenClaw. Now let's get started. For setting up our AI employee, there's a couple requirements. Firstly, it needs to be secure. Secondly, it needs to be reliable. And thirdly, it needs to be running 24/7. Now there's 3 options for doing the setup. We can host it on our local machine. We could host it on an external machine like a Mac Mini in our own home setup. Or we could host it on an external machine in the cloud. So let's take a look at the first option. If we host it on our local machine, that would not be reliable. It can delete all your files. It can leak all your data. That is a no-go. What about using a Mac Mini? Right, now we have it on our own machine. That's a lot safer, but we'll be running on our own network, the same network as our main machine. And because it's going to be on our own machine, we got to deal with a bunch of system things. The computer going to sleep, doing reboots, and thirdly, there's risks involved, like water damage, breaking damage. Now I want my AI employee to be somewhere in a nice, safe space. So that leaves us with option 3, running it in the cloud. And in this video, I will show you how to do the setup with an AWS EC2 Instance, which is free with a new account. If this is your first AWS account, you can get a new account, and with the free tier, it will give you some starter credits that you can use to set up the instances. It will ask you for your credit card information, but this is just for setup. Now, once you have entered your details, information, you'll end up in the dashboard. And from here, we'll go to EC2 Instance, either from here or from the search. And we will create a new instance. For the name, we can choose anything. I will call it Project Nightlife. And we can use an Ubuntu server. That brings us to the specs. Which machine do we need for our AI employee? I have done some research and tried various machines. And basically, the minimum specs that we need are going to be 2 GB of RAM, because OpenClaw runs on Node, and this would take at least 1.5 to 2 GB for it to even work. But I tried it and it was just really slow. So I'd say we need at least 4 GB of RAM, which I've tried and it works pretty smoothly. So that brings us with a medium machine. Now, if you have a free account, you can type in free here, and there's gonna be more options than just micro. But because I have a paid account, this is not the case for me. But you can just type in free, and then you should select the medium one. So I'll go with this one. Next, we'll create a new key pair. We will create a security group, and here's the first important security thing. So normally, everyone can SSH to your instance because you allow SSH from everywhere. In order to make this secure, you have to choose my IP address. So this will ensure that only people that are on your home network or the network IP addresses that you provide here can actually enter the instance. For the storage, we'll go the maximum amount that is free, and we'll get 30 gigabytes of storage, which is free. And then let's start this baby up. Now this can take a minute or two while this is initializing. Let's set up our keys. So I will create a new directory for this. And I'll move the key pair we just created to our directory. Right. So now we'll go to here, and then we can set this up. We literally just need to run this one command. In order to go to your instance, we'll do ssh I, the name of your key pair, and then Ubuntu at your IP address. And there you go. The first time it will give you some error. You need to give it certain permissions, so I'm gonna change it to 400. That means just the owner has access instead of group and user. So now when we try it again, we're in. Right, so once we're in the server, we can just copy this command. That's it. Now this can take a couple minutes, so now is a good time to get yourself a nice cup of coffee or tea. Alright, I'm back. It's done some installations, preparations, and there is a nice joke. Less clicking, more shipping. Fewer, where did that file go moments. It will ask you about security. This is powerful and inherently risky. Will you continue? Yes, we are living on the edge. Right, so now you can choose your model and auth provider. And one of my main concerns with this has been, what about the costs? So here's the good news. If you have a Claude premium subscription, you can just reuse it with an auth token. So you go here, then you choose Anthropic token, and you can use this command, Claude setup token, and that's it. It will set up the token for you. You have to authorize yourself. Then you will get a token here. And so here I'm gonna save you a lot of efforts. When I installed this the first time, so here is the sneaky thing. When you copy this, you can actually see there's like new line in there. So this is not going to be accepted. So before you put it in there, make sure you remove that new line. So here I'm saving you much time figuring out why your installation is not working. Token name default. Keep the current model. So for the communication channel, the most popular choices are either WhatsApp or Telegram. Now for our AI employee, for me, one of the requirements is privacy. I don't want it to have access to my personal WhatsApp messages and potentially send some messages to people saying things that I don't want it to send. So that is where Telegram comes in. It's like a great option for private communication. You can just make a bot there with a bot token. And so that's what we are going to do. And now it's going to ask you to go to Telegram and create a new bot with bot fodder, and then give it back the Telegram bot token. So I'm going to Telegram web, and here I'll start a conversation with bot fodder. And here I'll click start, and I'll type the command new bot. So then it asks you, how do you want to name the bot? Now I'm gonna go with Umbra. Give me a name for your bot. Right, so there we get the token. You can copy it and put it right in here. Scales, we can do that later. Enable hooks, we can do that later. So here you can click space to select one of these options. And then it's going to set up the gateway service. So now we'll need to make sure it's connected to the gateway. So to do that, we have to go to this URL, but this is running on our AWS instance. So to do this locally, we first need to create a tunnel between this thing running on the machine here and our main computer. So to do that, we will use this SSH commands, which will create a tunnel, as you can see here, to our EC2 instance. And now when we go to 187.89, you
you can see it's disconnected from the gateway. So we need to connect that. Now, in order to connect it, you can go here and we have to put in the token, which you can find here. You put it in and then you press connect and you can see here it's okay. Now if I go to nodes and I go to devices, then we can see that's actually being paired correctly. So here you can tell that it's set up correctly. Next, we'll go to hatch it in the DUI.
So just like you have your little chicken and it's coming out of the egg, we have our AI employee that's now going to be hatched. Option 1, hatch in TUI, yes. And it's alive. Hey, I just came online. So here's the deal, I'm brand new, no memories, no name, no idea who you are, that's just a blank state and a whole lot of potential. Who are you, and more importantly, who do you want me to be? I am Yasvir, a software engineer and content creator. And for the name, we're going with your name is HaoMeng, which is Chinese for sweet dreams. And since it's going to be our AI employee that's going to make money for us while we're sleeping, this seems like a fitting name to me. Your name means sweet dreams in Chinese. You can call me Yas. The time zone is CET. For the vibe, let it just have its own soul. It can choose by itself what its vibe is going to be. Now for the emoji, I think we can go with something like moon. So that's going to be very nice. Emoji, moon. Right, so now it's going to write everything down so it doesn't forget who it is. And it's talking about a Soul.md. And it's telling us that our Telegram install did not go right. So for the Telegram connection to complete, we'll need to go to the bot and then we need to use this pairing code. Here's the pairing code. Alright, so it's been paired. Hi. As you can see, it's there. So what is this Soul.md? When we just exit this, you can see that it just created this new directory with a bunch of content, and it created a new workspace. And in here, there's a bunch of interesting files. So you have the Soul.md. Now this is literally the Soul markdown file of our AI employee. And when you read through this, you're not a chatbot, you're becoming someone. This is pretty much the Soul file. Right, so it just told us it will remember things, write things down. So that's happening in memory. When you look in memory here, it just created the first memory. HaoMeng came online for the first time, met Yasvir. The name means sweet dreams in Chinese, chosen by Yas, time zone, emoji, vibe. So there you go. Now besides that, we have tools, user, and a couple other things. We'll get to that later. Video, watching HaoMeng come to life, the whole naming, setup, first row experience. This was just the beginning. We will be training our AI employee. We will be evolving our AI employee. We will be improving our AI employee so that it can make money for us while we're sleeping. Smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you, and I see you in the next one.